Saying no is one of the hardest things that we have to deal with in life, I think, sometimes. I don't know how many times I have had to say no, but felt so guilty or bad afterwards. And we have to get to a point where we're not doing that, where we're not feeling bad for saying no. We have to let no become okay. Generally, what happens is when somebody asks you something and we immediately respond, we get ourselves into something that we didn't want to do because we didn't want to feel guilty. Can I borrow $100? Sure, here you go. We got to stop. We got to stop because that's only hurting ourselves. That's only putting us in a place of feeling ick. It only allows us to break our own boundaries and to allow ourselves to become the person that we don't want to be most generally. Now, I'm not saying that's in every case, but in a lot of cases, that's the case. So, we're going to go through and just look at some simple things that we can do to practice saying no and embracing it without feeling bad or guilty. The first thing that you need to do is that we are people that overshare. Okay. What that means is that if I say no, I find a reason that I need to justify why. No, I'm sorry, I'm not able to do that. Blah, 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 blah. Well, simply we need to scale that back. Okay. We don't have to justify why we're saying no. We don't have to over explain why we're saying no. We just have to say no, be persistent, and be confident in what we're saying. Try it. A little simple thanks, but I'll have to pass this timer. Sorry, I'm not able to do that. Or simply, no, thank you. Or no, I can't. Stop giving reasons. Stop justifying it. If no is no, then that's what it is. Okay. I just said that oftentimes when we're asked to do something, we jump to the first answer. So, hey, can I borrow $100? Yes. We naturally do that. When we're people that want to give or care and we do that naturally, it's hard for us not to immediately respond. The truth be told, what we should do is, for example, if somebody asks to borrow $100, just say, hey, can I let you know by tomorrow if that's possible? Because what you're doing is allowing yourself time to get that response that you really want to give them. Okay. Or if they're asking you to, I don't know, help them build a house, let me go ahead and put some thought in that and I'll get back to you. A simple little response, but yet it gives yourself time to build the answer that you need to build, whether it's yes or no. You're not doing an instant reply. You're giving yourself time to process what was asked and then move forward. Okay. The next thing with that is let's try referring them out. Okay. Hey, can I borrow your car? Well, unfortunately, that's not available today or tomorrow or next week or whatever, whenever. So, what I would suggest is seeing if you can get with a rental company, do a Turo, do something different other than give them your car. Like mm, give them your time. Or if they're asking you for help with like remodeling your house. I don't know how to do that, but I'll be glad to go ahead and give you someone's name that would be perfect for this that could help you out with that. Um, so you've got to learn to refer out. Not everything has to be placed upon us. Not everything is our response. Not everything needs us. If they don't get us, they're going to get somebody else generally if we don't feel that we need to do that. Okay. So the next thing with that is know your limitations. You have to know what your limitations are. You have to know your boundaries. You have to understand yourself, care for yourself, respect your priorities, respect who you are. And so it's okay to say, hey, I don't have time for that today. I'm sorry. Or I'd like to help, but I can't manage. I can't help you at this time. You cannot do it. But know your limitations. That's why, like I said just a minute ago, if we let ourselves stop and not do an immediate response, what we're doing is giving ourselves time to process the information and respond appropriately. Because it's important that we don't do what we wouldn't want to do, or if we're going to feel bad later, because man, I can't believe I just did that again. We don't want that for ourselves. So with this also, Be persistent. I said that earlier. You have to be persistent. Being persistent's not mean either, you know? An example here. Hey, can you help me get to work? Unfortunately, I can't. Then, well, can you pick me up whenever you can so that I can get there? I can't today. Well, what if I give you some gas money, or what if I fill your gas tank up? No, unfortunately, I still am not able to do that. So, what you're doing is being persistent with everything that they're giving you, you're giving them your persistence back. And that is okay. That is fine. Okay. You're going to maybe feel a tid bad in the moment, but I promise you, once you get up and start doing dishes or move around or do something, you're going to feel better that you did what you did and stayed persistent than you would for actually doing what you didn't want to do. Right. I mean, I'm the person that'll give a shirt off my back, but what I've been learning through life is that if sometimes when you give everything that you have, you only put yourself into a bad feeling without something or whatever it may be. So therefore, this is all about self-care in a way, you know. Um give yourself grace. Give yourself a permission slip, so to speak. It's okay to respect yourself. It's okay for you to have to pull the card and say, I need to take care of me today. It's okay for you to do that. So if you need to say something and you want to say something that is in a kinder nature, you could say, I'm so glad you thought that I could help you with that today, but unfortunately I can't. And just go on. Thank you so much for asking me. But I can't today. I'm not today. Just let it be something that doesn't have to be a bad, harsh no, but it doesn't have to give them too much information, and it's staying persistent. And you're also taking care of yourself and your mental health, because that is the most important of all of this. We get so wrapped up in giving, 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 giving. And what's the truth is that you cannot give from an empty cup. So if today this person says, hey, can you do this? It's like my last video, people that use you or whatever, then you do it and you do it and you keep doing it. All you're doing is teaching them how to use you. There's times at work, hey, I have this extra project. Are you able to do that? No, I can't today. Or, I've told them, unfortunately, there's just too much on my plate. When I was studying for my test, I was getting asked, a couple months prior to that to be helpful and do some extra work or do bonus work for others. And I'm like, at that point, I'm like, I would love to help you. I just can't. Right now, my test is my main focus. So what I have is the time that I have here, and there's no time after. I didn't say all of that. I just, unfortunately, I can't. And guess what? Are you guessing? They found someone else to do it. They found somebody else to do it. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't allow myself to feel guilty for saying no to something that was going to take from me and my mental health. I didn't allow myself to feel horrible for that situation or that conversation, because what I did is I took care of me. You can no longer fill the cup of anybody if you're draining yourself in the meantime and not rejuvenating yourself. You have to keep the cycle. If you're giving and giving and giving and giving, that's going to drain you. So let's take time to learn how to say no without feeling guilty. Let's take time to, when we get those hard questions or get those hard situations, to be okay saying not today. Let's do that. Let's let that be a new thing. Instead of feeling guilty, be prideful every time that you can accomplish this in a day or a week or whoever, whenever it happens. Anytime that you can say no to something that you really don't want to do and not feel guilty, pride yourself on that. Pat yourself on the back, take yourself to get an ice cream, go get your nails did, whatever you need to do to say, I'm proud of you for saying no to something that you didn't want to do. Do it, because I personally will be proud of you when you are setting that example. I have had to learn this the hard way, the very hard way. And in the wrap of this is that I feel guilty about this long. Seriously, very short amount of time, and it quickly subsides. As quickly becoming easier to do this over and over and over as well too. The hardest place that I have a problem with this is at work. I am a doer, so I will do anything that's put in front of me because naturally I'm a hard worker. That's what I do. But you know what? In that time of need, when they asked me to do extra, in that time of need for taking care of myself, I was like, can't do that. Good job, Diane. I'm proud of me for that. I'm proud of me because I'm no longer going to allow somebody to take from me when I need to take for myself to do something different. I'm no longer going to feel guilty for saying, no, I can't. No longer going to feel bad for saying, unfortunately, I'm not able to do that today. I'm no longer going to feel bad for saying, I can't give you $100. I'm no longer going to be mad or at myself for saying, hey, give me a few days to think about this because I just need to process everything. Because there's some life situations that take a few days to process. If somebody's needing to borrow your car for, a week or two, 3, 4 months, whatever it may be, you need to probably stop and say, bro, let me get back to you on that. Don't just say yes. Don't say yes in fear of hurting their feelings. Say yes in fear of, just making yourself feel bad. Don't feel guilty over that. Don't allow yourself to think like that. Now, there's situations where sometimes it's not as easy to take a few days to think about it. It's not able to take a few days think about it. So for example, if somebody calls and says, hey, I need $100 tomorrow, or I'm going to get evicted, you're going to have to really, if you don't have that extra $100, you're going to have to really be to the point of saying, man, I'm sorry that I don't have that today, but let me get you some resources. Let me see what I can find to give you to help. Let me give you the number to this church over here that I know that they help with bill assistance. Don't feel guilty. Because if you've done that and you've given them the resources, you've given them the options, you've given them the ability to find other ways, you've done what you personally could do without draining yourself, without taking from you. So you still are okay. It's okay. I'm not using this hand a lot today because if you look, I came in here after I lotioned my hands in there. I forgot to put my rings on again. So I feel naked, and that's probably going to be totally off topic, but that's okay because anybody that's watched any videos knows that I can do that sometimes. But I kind of just want to end this with saying that I'm not telling you to say no to everything. I'm not telling you if you want to say yes, say yes. It's okay to say yes too, if that's what you want to do. But if you're one of those that say yes to everything and then feel bad later that you've said that you've agreed to that, or feel mad at yourself, or feel angry, or feel guilty that you've taken from yourself and given to them, let's learn how to say no without feeling guilty. Let's practice those things. Use those steps or those tips, not steps, but those tips that I've given you and put them in your bank of what you can do next time it happens. Practice using those tips. If you really want to see growth within and stop hurting yourself, then maybe it's time that you listen to what we're talking about here. When I talk about boundaries, this is part of it. When I talk about taking care of yourself, this is part of it. Everything I talk about can wrap around to say it's okay to say no and not feel bad for it, not feel guilty. So I hope this helps you guys, and I hope it gives you a few tips, not a whole lot, but a few tips with some great examples. And if you have more questions about this, reach out. Let's talk about it. If you want to put it in the chat, put it in the chat. This is topics. These topics are very good to talk about in general. So if it's something that you will have a question about, put it in the comments. Send me an email, whatever you need to do. I'm here to help you. Okay. And if I can't, I'll say, no, I'm sorry, I can't today, but I'll get back to you tomorrow. How about that? That would be me using my tips. But I do want to thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a great day. Bye, guys. I'll be back.